Hello friends, today we're going to hear a very special story from the Bible, a story about a young boy named Samuel. Samuel wasn't a grown-up, a prophet, or a king. He was just a child, just like me and you. But guess what? God called his name and gave him a very important job. So as you listen today, I want you to think about this question. What would you do if God called your name? Now get ready, let's step into Samuel's world, where one quiet night turned into a life-changing moment.
Long ago, in the land of Israel, there lived a boy named Samuel. He worked in God's temple, helping an old priest named Eli. Every day, Samuel swept the floors, polished the lamps, and made sure everything was ready for worship. Samuel loved God with all his heart, but he didn't yet know what it meant to hear God's voice. One quiet night, the temple was still. The lamps flickered softly. Eli was resting in his room, and Samuel was lying on his bed, drifting off to sleep. Suddenly, Samuel heard a voice. "Samuel! Samuel!" Samuel sat up quickly. He thought Eli was calling him. So he ran to Eli's room and said, "Here I am!" "You called me." But Eli shook his head. "I didn't call you, my son. Go back to bed." Samuel nodded and went back to lie down. A few moments later, the voice came again. "Samuel! Samuel!" He ran to Eli once more. "Here I am. You called me." But Eli said again, "I didn't call you, my son. Go lie down." This happened a third time. "Samuel! Samuel!" The boy hurried to Eli, confused but still obedient. Then Eli realized what was happening. God was calling Samuel. Eli smiled gently and said, "Go and lie down, and if you hear the voice again, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" Samuel nodded and returned to bed. The room was quiet once more. Then the voice came again, kind and powerful. "Samuel! Samuel!" Samuel sat up and said softly, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." And God spoke to him, giving Samuel an important message to share with Eli and all of Israel. The next morning, Samuel told Eli everything God had said. Eli listened carefully and said, "It is the Lord. Let him do what is good in his eyes." From that day on, Samuel continued to listen to God's voice. As he grew older, God gave him wisdom and courage. Everyone in Israel knew that Samuel was chosen by God as his prophet. Samuel's story reminds us that God still speaks today. He may not call out loud, but he speaks through his word, through prayer, and in our hearts. When we take time to be still and listen, we can hear his voice guiding us, just like Samuel did. So, next time you pray, remember Samuel's words. "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening."
Do you enjoy the story? I'm sure you did. Please subscribe to this channel to hear more interesting Bible stories and faith-filled songs. I'll see you next time. Bye.